Hello, ladies and gents. Let's go. Let's get into it, chicos and chicas. We are going to speedrun now, and today I'm going to try the Benko. That's the idea that just occurred to me. So let's Benko it up. It's c5, and b5 is already warming up, unless of course my opponent plays knight f3. In which case we are going to do this gambit, which I'm not sure what it's called. So, is it? I don't know. Oh, okay. Here we go. Alright, no worries. We have got a Benko on our hands. I would be very surprised if they accepted the Benko, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. A very common way to not accept the Benko is to accept it and then push it back into b6 when I play a6. The other one is to play a4. A third one is to sit on it for 14 minutes and lose on time. That would be my favorite. This is also doable. The downside to this is that if I had to take c4, this would be brilliant because then e4 comes, right? But I can instead just send him back to the Stone Age, and now he has no good squares to go to. Knight a4 is very, very badly sidelined, and knight b1 also causes a lot of problems. This diagonal is now going to be a constant source of worry for our opponent. Yeah, I'm not sure what formation he's going to opt for now to develop. Knight f3, bishop g7, and then e4 is a bit tricky to accomplish. Or he can do something like bishop out, banking on the fact that I play bishop g7, and then after knight d2 he kind of resolved the problem of the b2 pawn. Now, one interesting question here is that should we go knight e4? Bishop f4, bishop g7, hitting this. Queen c2, hitting knight defending pawn. Then maybe d6. And if queen takes e4, I think after bishop here we are going to win this for very cleanly. I quite like that actually. Let's do this. Knight e4. Let's try to keep them busy and keep them guessing about what direction this wild game is going to take. Okay, well in this case there will be no wild directions. I suppose f3. Okay, if I really wanted to go crazy house here, as in not the chess variant, but you know when you turn to complete cray cray, I could have played here e6, because then if f3, then I had a cheeky check here. And here too, I anticipated actually f3 rather than knight d2. Now, the biggest issue with knight d2 is that I can take it, and he can't take back with the bishop because b2 hangs. So that's what we're going to do, excuse me. They're going to take back. And now we're going to castle. And at this point, my next focus point is going to be to try to blast the middle open. Okay, that was terrible. Like, that, there is just no way that that move can be right. And this is a very interesting gap, I suppose, between higher rated and lower rated players and how they perceive problems. So I'm going to break this down for you because I think it's extremely instructive. And I'm going to model this from White's point of view. If you are White here, right, and I ask you, what is the biggest problem that you need to solve here for White? There are two answers, generally speaking, that you're likely to get. The correct one and the bad one. The correct one is to say that I am 1, 2, 3, 4 moves away from castling when my opponent is already castled. That's an eternity. We need to rectify that ASAP. The incorrect answer to what is our problem in this position from White's perspective is that there is pressure here. This is airy-fairy talk. Because this pressure is not going, like, it's not impacting White's position in any way. Black can't do anything with this diagonal for the next 10 moves that is going to meaningfully hurt White. And additionally, the second bad answer to the first question was that it's difficult to develop the bishop. Because whilst it's true, it's not a problem. Not yet. The bigger problem here is the king. And so e4, knight f3, bishop d3 castles had to be played with almost closed eyes against everything that black can throw at White here. And everything else they do, like rook b1, is likely going to cost them dearly because of I'm going to go after them now as aggro as I can. So what my first agenda is, by the way, I really hope for the love of God, which highlights even more how bad this move is, that they don't want to play b3 because that loses a queen after bishop c3. So in a cheeky way, I could try to go for a quick win with queen a5, trying to provoke b3 and then bishop c3. Mind you, after queen a5, a3 is playable. But I want to make it a meaningful game, so I hope that they're not going to play b3, which would be the logical follow-up to rook b1. So what I'm hoping to do, yeah, e4. And now we're going to blast this open. Bang. And bang. Now, at this point, if I was coaching this guy, I would ask him this question. But dude, if you wanted to play e4 against pretty much every black next move, what was the point of rook b1? And there's not really a good answer to this question, is there? Okay, so now if d6, then he has got bishop d3 and knight e2. So what we are going to do here is that we are... how should I do this? I'm still eyeing with this idea, by the way. Yeah, I'm thinking rook e8 check has to be correct. So here is the deal. After bishop e2, if I play d6, knight f3, then bishop f5 is very annoying with this rook. You see, and it turns out that, although I might not be able to hurt him more than that, but the fact that he now is looking down the barrel of a bishop f5 move reminds him extremely annoyingly how bad rook b1 was. And had he played my move, which was earlier e4, instead of rook b1, now he would have a knight on f3. Right? So in the end, we're going to come out about 3 tempi down from white's perspective compared to how good it could have been. Now hold on a tick. I have got another idea that is extremely cheeky. Huh. Wow. You know, guys, what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about playing queen h4. Because I'm anticipating the natural knight f3, but that hangs c4. That is really cool. What do they do if I go queen h4 here? b3 is not playable because of bishop c3. They can't break the pin. And obviously king moves are just horrid. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would evaluate queen h4, king f1. Because now I walked into this. Wait, do I have queen e4? Bishop d3? Also, wow. What an eye-opener. I also have bishop a6. Threatening to take. And they can't play b3 because I go here. But they have queen c2, and then I'm likely chasing the queen to a correct square. But boy, is this a fascinating idea. Okay, so king f1, d6, knight f3, and queen back to e7. And now he has a lot of problems. Yeah, I love this. Let's do this. Normally I would have played it d6, but after knight f3, bishop f5, rook here, all I would have had was an extremely annoying positional threat of shoving this pawn all the way down. But I really like this move. I really do. I'm very, very curious to see how he's going to respond to this. I mean, surely they should smell the rat, right? Because if it's not good, it's terrible. And therefore you shouldn't instantly respond to a move like this. Because it screams dodgy, tricky, watch out kind of story, right? So you don't instinctively play just knight f3 because that means you don't check what the purpose of this move was. Which is not to say that this is not the right move. Yeah, but he should be thinking here that something is afoot. Now, if queen c2, then d6, knight f3, Wait, what the heck was I gonna do against this? Let's just play a complete lemon. Maybe. Wait, what do we do after queen c2 here? Okay, after queen c2, I've got the crazy city bishop d4. Now they have to play g3. Then I go back to queen f6. They can't go knight f3 because it's hanging. Oh my word, this is brilliant. Admittedly, I fluked it, but it's still brilliant. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Loving it. Loving it. All right. All right. So g3 is more or less forced here, right? Because what else? Maybe knight h3. But then d6 is cardinal, terminal. Nothing like merging carnage and terminal to cardinal. That's hanging, bruv. That was the point. You can't do that. So what he had to do here was f4. But after f4, d6, it's incredibly difficult to hold bishop f5 because you're still pinned. So the pressure. This is what I keep on telling my students, that on this level of chess, if you keep on playing very good and aggressive moves, which often, by the way, is a tautology or a synonym, they will find one defensive move, they will find a second, and by the third they collapse under the pressure. And that's exactly what happened here. And now it's all over. Mate is on, rook is on, and they can't castle without losing a second piece. If they want to play on, they can play rook f1. But after d6, bishop f5, bishop g4, everything is threatened. Yeah. Yeah, we are anticipating his resignation. That was unfortunate, but yeah, I would have had a huge position here after f4. Indeed. Okay, let me see if the review is... Yeah, it's out of whack. Yeah, we're good. 90. I made a mistake. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's guess what the mistake was. Queen h4 unfortunately popped up on my screen. Really? I thought it was so cool. I'm disappointed. Okay, so the correct move has to be d6. Yeah, okay. I totally get it, right? So knight f3, bishop f5, rook a1, and I'm guessing a5. Knight d7 looks good too, but I'm pretty sure it's a5. No, it's not best. Huh. Oh, you potato. It's just queen here to cut out castling. I thought that there was castles queen to rook e1 though, no? Yeah, isn't this a move? And if take, then rook e1. Hello? Yeah, this is not good. So I don't understand why queen e7 is so good if they can castle out of it. What am I supposed to play here with black? Really? Just like develop and that's it? Okay, well, in that case, I prefer my queen h4 until it's proven wrong, which is yet to come. Okay, so queen c2 was a mistake. What did we expect here? Yeah, right, king f1. Okay, yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that was the line I called out. I would much rather play this. I would much rather play this than the line where we allowed the opponent to castle. I'm very, very shocked. To my human eye, this makes no sense that this is preferable for white compared to the variation where they were allowed to castle. I would do this any day of the week. And yeah, unfortunately, queen c2 was bad. Because now bishop d4 just brought about carnage. Yeah, so f4 is not even a move on the engine's list because after d6 this is not stoppable meaningfully. Ouch. Ouch. The point is that if the king walks out of this pin, then shockingly the best move is to take this. And the idea is that if they retake, then we have got a check, and then we have another check, and now this is game. Because bishop e3 is hanging, and otherwise the king has to give up the rook. That's very neat. I still can't believe that the engine prefers here d6, knight f3, queen e7, castles, and knight d7, or whatever it was. To be fair, the engine here actually wants to sack the queen, which is very nice and really, really instructive. But I'd like my queen h4. So, stuff the engine. This was very unique and very original, and I like it. Go away, engine. There's one move that I completely overlooked here. And that is very embarrassing. Now, this is something I need to show you. I overlooked here queen f4. Which, according to the machine, is not good. But because I didn't see it, it counts as a blemish on my play. Because here the machine wants queen d8. Now, ironically, the queen on f4 is really poorly placed, because if we continue development again, the pin is deadly. And this is now going to be a very nice link back to the main message of this game. What is the primary reason why white lost this game? The correct answer to this question, in my opinion as a chess coach, would be, which move? This one right here. That is the culprit for everything that happened after. Consider this. e4, e6, knight f3, take, take, check, bishop e2, d6, castles. Is black better? Definitely. Is white going to lose this game in the next 15 moves? Very, very, very highly unlikely. It's all kinds of uncomfortable. But with maybe bishop d3, queen c2, bishop d2, you can kind of complete development without getting hurt too badly. Slim survival chances, right? But rook b1, which was supposedly fixing a problem of whatever imaginary problems they had here, just gave me too much time to go after them in a very aggressive fashion. And I didn't play it well. I would never say I did. But this was definitely the downfall. And yeah, after a few erroneous defensive moves, it was already too late. Ladies and gents, that's gonna be it for us for today. This was the last episode of sub 1800 speedrun. We are moving on into more exciting territories, I hope, for you guys. So yeah, please don't forget to sub, to like, to comment down below, to super thank me if you can, and we will be back with the next video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.